Yo! So, while I explain what I'm going to explain, I'm also going to teach you how to make an amazing salad base that you can then add stuff to and pair with just about everything. The purpose of this salad is to help things keep moving. If you decide to eat any type of starch, such as potato chips, potatoes, rice, lentils, quinoa, or if you have any type of meat, it'll help keep things moving so nothing stagnates within you, constipation, and so you don't build up an unnecessary amount of mucus or acid in your digestive tract, which then goes to the rest of your body. So lately, I've been explaining the mucusless diet healing system a lot to a lot of people. It is something that I am passionate about because I believe it is the road to physiological liberation. And what I mean by that is your body will become free. It will no longer suffer from hunger. It will no longer suffer from cravings, which has a profound effect on the mind and its capabilities, especially as you go through the process of it and you experience this gradual transition away from addictive man-made foods, which simply just poison the body. By the way, you just want to take an onion, a sweet onion, a white onion, any type of onion. I love a lot of onion. We're creating an onion saute right now. So just take your onion, chop it up. And again, however much onion you'd like. So the whole point of the system is that to give you physiological liberation through the means of eliminating all waste matter within the body. Because this waste matter not only makes you sick, but is the cause of the cravings. Once the waste matter enters circulation, as it is being eliminated either through the kidneys or, being eliminated by being filtered through the kidneys and then peed out, or sweated out, or, coming out the little eye crusties, or pooped out. And your body has so many ways to eliminate waste. So as it's in circulation to be eliminated in one of those ways, that's usually when cravings occur. So yeah, in short, this is the way. This is the truth. It'll get you to the best feeling place you've ever been in regards to the body. But you see, that's actually the exact issue. It is body work. It is keeping your attention in the material world, the objective world. And it keeps you grounded in the body, in the mind. And by grounded, I mean identified with it. The next thing you're going to want to do, look at me saying it's a problem, but then me helping you with it. And the next thing you want to do is just take as many cloves of garlic as you'd like. A clove of garlic isn't like this whole thing. This is called the head. Give me 1 second. When you take the skin off, you'll find that there's many little pieces inside the garlic head. Is that working? Is that kind of focused? Okay, well, you'll see this in a second. But I can actually remove stuff. And so, watch this. Boom, turns into two, right? So these little pieces, it's not really focused, but these little pieces that make up the head of garlic, those are cloves. So grab as many as you'd like. I love a lot of garlic. I remember one time I gave my girlfriend a hug and she took a deep inhale and I was like, what do I smell like? And she's like, garlic. And I was like, oh man. And she's like, no, it's okay. Your clothes always smell like what you cooked that day. And I was like, Ash, it didn't cook in these clothes. The next thing that you want to do is you want to smash it. You can either de-skin it however way that you do it. Or the way that I do it is I take my knife, right? And I like to put the garlic just closer towards the tip. Not all the way on the tip, but like around here. And then I just slam and I follow through. Not crazy hard, but like enough to where you're like, yeah, that'll break down this head or this clove of garlic. I've said cloves so many times. And so I wrote down some stuff that really explains the issue of body-mind identification in regards to the ultimate goal, which to me, the ultimate goal is salvation, right? We believe, let's take like Catholics, right? You believe in Lord Jesus Christ, your Savior, because you will attain salvation through him, and by believing in him and, following the 10 commandments that his father God gave Moses, and just basically following all the guidelines, you will attain salvation at death by entering the gates of heaven, right? And so that is why, at least in my mind, you should follow Catholicism, is because that is the path to salvation. But if you go to any other religion, which to me are just man-made organizations that make people work through fear for the worst, at its worst, at its best, it gives people hope and builds up morality in people and has them act more in good rather than evil and makes them strive to be better. I also believe that it is a necessary step at best when it comes to eventually trying to reach the ultimate goal, which I'll explain in a little bit. And that, well, I guess the ultimate goal is to actually go beyond the body-mind identification, because there is only suffering. There is no evading suffering so long as body-mind identification exists. And again, I will explain that a little bit more. But that's kind of the issue that I've been running too, is I can't deny myself the knowing that I have, which is that, yes, I am helping people with this system, and I am helping people if I were to try and teach this, but it's not a means to an, I don't believe it's a means to an end. The end is physiological liberation. Your body is, again, free from any type of addiction to any food, any craving from any food, any craving from any water. And these, you might be listening to this like, this kid is actually insane. Fair enough. The issue is let's say that you finally attain it. You get to the top of the mountain. You're a breatharian, right? You don't need food anymore. You're not gonna die. What's not gonna die is the body. What's not gonna die is the mind. What's not gonna die is the identity. All right, so I chopped up all that garlic and I mix it with the onion and I'm putting it in the olive oil, which I have going on low heat, and I actually forgot to I turned on the wrong head of my oven, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Anyway, in a perfect world, my olive oil would have been simmering on a low heat. I can't show you, but if like this is a full circle and this is the starting point and then it goes like this and this is high, it would be no more than a quarter of the way through. Right? It'd be no more than a quarter of the way through. At least that's how I do it, just really, really gentle. And you're just gonna let that simmer for a while. I like to let it simmer for more than 5 minutes on this gentle heat. It makes the onion much less aggressive, meaning that you're not gonna fart as much. And it reduces the strength of the flavor, but the flavor also goes into the oil. So as you pour the oil onto your salad, then the whole salad kind of gets this essence of onion garlic that is not overbearing by any means necessary. It's so good. So yeah, I'm just gonna let that stir. But yeah, back to the issue. Man, I hope you guys are staying with me. I'm jumping around here, but so is the way of genes. So yes, so you attain physiological liberation, but what's left is still the identity. What's left is still the sense of I am, right? And I am this body, I am this mind. If you haven't done any work to realize that you are the consciousness which animates this, essentially this corpse, right? Because if once consciousness leaves, what is the body? It's dead, right? It's gone. It's no more. So this awareness, this genderless, shapeless awareness exists and animates this body. And so this body is essentially a disguise or clothing. And once it gets attached to the clothing, the identity that the clothing gives it, a name, a personality, a character, memories, preferences, habits, dreams, ambitions, vices, virtues, once it becomes attached to all of those, misery is bound to happen, because then you have something to lose. You have something to gain, you have something to lose. You become attached to the character. You want to see it grow, you want to see it fall, you want to change it. There are certain labels that you enjoy, certain labels you don't enjoy. The interaction of the world, you want to be involved in the world. And it's a mess. It's an absolute and utter mess. And so the goal of yoga is self-realization, realizing that you are not the body-mind, you are not all those preferences, the virtues, the vices, the ambitions, the dreams, the character traits, the habits, the gender, the name. You're not any of that. And so the thing that would lose people would be labeling what you are then. I could say spirit, right? I could say that you're infinite spirit that always was, has been, and ever will be. I could say that you are, some people like to call it the soul. Some people like to call it source. Some people like to call it God. Some people like to call it just simple, pure awareness. And that is where I stand, because I believe it's the easiest to get across of what actually is, what we are. Because when it comes to spirit, soul, God, any of those source consciousness, I find that it's very easy to give it form, to imagine something in regards to it, but that's the point. It's formless. If it has a form, then it's an object, and that's not the truth. It can't be an object. It can't be a thing. It can't be identified with a thing, because that's the whole issue to begin with, is we are identifying with an object, right? And that object is also the name, and that object is also the sense of I am, and that object is also the body, the mind, the emotions, the activity, all those things. So that's where the actual issue resides. And so you can actually attain this goal without eating healthy, but it sure helps a ton, because you're going to need some discipline of the mind, right? And so someone who is just doped out on junk food, on meat, on starches, is going to have a way harder time disciplining the mind in regards to attaining that, flat out, you're going to have a harder time disciplining the mind, and that in consequence is going to make it a lot harder to attain the ultimate goal, right? And so back to the salad really quick. If you are going to eat a cheat meal, grab a big bowl, because you're going to want a big salad, and you want to be taking mouthfuls of whatever you shouldn't be eating with mouthfuls of the salad, just to help things pass along. The reason it works so well is because all of this is just going to act like a fiber. All of this is fiber, period. And so fiber helps add. I was going to try and explain it to you in the scope of Western medicine. I'm going to explain it to you through the mucusless diet perspective. All vegetables, all leafy greens, starchless, fat-free vegetables, such as romaine lettuce, carrots, onion, garlic, act as a broom through the intestines. Your intestines from your mouth, right? Your digestive tract from the mouth out your butt is around 30-ish feet. It can be 32, it can be 28. And so just take this tube, right? And sure, at the beginning of one tube, there's a little thing that breaks down the food, goes down, this little chamber which dissolves, breaks it down. And then for around 28 feet, you just have this, it's your small intestine, right? So the first part's your mouth, next part's your stomach. For around 28 feet, you just have this broken down stuff, whatever liquids your body can pull from it, it just goes into the blood, right? And so, any particles that can pass through the small intestine gets put into the blood. And from there, it goes into the colon and then out, right? So imagine this 32-foot long tube, right? So if I put kale, if I put carrot, if I put onion, and I just eat that, I'm gonna see carrot. I'm going to see the orange of carrot. I'm going to see the green of kale, and I'm going to see the little white transparent pieces of onion when I poop, right? So what does that tell me? That tells me that my body did not like disassemble, completely break down those vegetables, right? Those vegetables traveled through completely intact. For the most part, you can juice kale, you can juice carrots, so some of that like liquid substance does find its way into the blood as it travels through the 28-foot long small intestine. But for the most part, it's a fiber that just passes through this tube. So if there is any type of gunk on the walls of this tube, I'm gonna eat those foods, because those foods, as they pass along, they're gonna brush against the walls of the digestive tract, the walls of this 32-foot long tube. And so at the end, it will take with it some waste that was stuck on the walls. And so if I wanted to loosen the walls, I would eat stuff that's more acidic, more dissolving in nature, and that would be fruits. Lemons, we can all agree that lemons are acidic. We can all agree oranges are acidic. Apples, a little bit less acidic. Blueberries, a little bit less acidic. Bananas, much less acidic. But they're all in nature acidic. This is due to the fruit acid and the fruit sugar. And so those foods aren't so much brooms, but they're dissolvers. So let's say that first layer of waste got taken off that 32-foot long tube, but then right behind it was this hardened layer. So for a period of time, I would be having orange juice, I would be having apples, I'd be having blueberries, I'd be having grapes, and especially in season ripe fruits. The sweeter it is, the more acidic and stronger the dissolving property is. And from there, then after that, I would have a little bit of vegetable period, just boom, boom, boom. So that is the perspective that I come from and that I am approaching the salad with. And that is why I have foods I shouldn't be having with these salads, because the purpose isn't to dissolve the waste in my digestive tract. What I'm actually doing is I'm trying to mitigate as much as I can how much waste I'm actually going to add, because I'm eating something that I shouldn't be eating, which is going to have gluey properties. Any type of starch it makes excellent glue, which is horrible, because if you chew it up, yes, your your stomach is going to break it down to some degree, but not completely. It's not going to destroy the gluey properties completely. Anyway, I feel like you understand why I have the salad. If I can just have my broom with some bites of stuff I shouldn't have in my stomach, it's going to mix together. And if the salad is dominant, then it should pass. No problem. Right? And so I've learned all of that through extensive study and obsession and inquiry of this material world. And that is exactly where I'm going wrong. And so I'm going to read to you some quotes by the person that I am learning this through, right? And in my eyes is my ultimate end. I have jumped from teacher to teacher to teacher because sometimes the teachers they fail to satisfy. So everyone has a different path. So this is in my eyes, this is it. This is precise, detailed instructions to salvation, to liberation. Just as the mucusless diet healing system is precise, detailed instructions to physiological liberation. I would put that literally one step below this stuff. I think these two things should be practiced in conjunction with each other. And if they do their job well, they will self-destruct. And by self-destruct, I mean they will go, right? You're not going to need to dwell on them forever. And that will become obvious as I read these quotes. So, you will never reach the goal so long as you are captivated by and inquire into the objective world. And so what that means is you will never obtain liberation, salvation, so long as your attention is captivated by and you want to dive into and explore and gain in this play of creation, and if you want to be captivated by and explore spirituality to gain powers, and or you want to go make a lot of money, or you want to go change the world, or you want to go get this particular partner, or get this certain job, or get a certain physique, or you know, it can get gnarly, the things like you will never reach the goal so long as you try to pull your family out of poverty and you're obsessed with trying to get a lot of money for good or for bad reasons. You will never reach the goal so long as you are trying to better yourself. And those things can kind of, you know, trigger you. It's like, what do you mean I'll never reach the goal if I'm trying to better myself as a person? What do you mean I'll never reach the goal so long as I'm obsessing over my dreams and trying to make them happen? Like, why wouldn't that work? And that's because your attention and your energy is completely attached and captivated by this world, by your emotions, by the activity, by the potential that this play has. And so what you are to do is to remain in your beingness. And so I will give you an example. So if you engage yourself in a quarrel with somebody, kind of like maybe how some of you are feeling right now as I said those things, like you kind of have an issue with me saying that. So let's say you and me are in a quarrel right now. Observe and understand very, very clearly that there's a quarrel started by your mind, but you are only a witness. Let me say that one more time. Observe and understand clearly that there is a quarrel started by your mind and you are only a witness. Meaning that you are witnessing the mind struggle. Quick tangent. Just chop up any green. I like romaine. I love romaine. I love romaine. The next thing you want to do is you want to get a grater. If you have a grater, that's awesome. If not, where is it? If not, just chop the carrots up as finely as you can. But if you do have a grater, grate your carrots. It tastes so good. Anyway, back to the thing. So observe and understand clearly that the quarrel was started by your mind, right? And you're only a witness to it. You're only witnessing your mind quarrel. You are not doing anything other than witnessing that, right? If you don't participate, if you don't get attached, if you aren't captivated and inquire into the mind, then whether there is a quarrel or not is no longer a concern. All worldly activities happen through the mind. And so if you think you are the body, mind, then you are doomed. Just great the carrots. And so you're doomed because what's going on is you're not going to reach the goal. You're not going to reach the goal of understanding that you are just simply the witness. You're the witness to all of this. And so this play, everything, and I mean absolutely everything, is a part of the play. A way that it was broken down to me very simply was by these things called the 3 gunas, right? And so the names of it doesn't really matter, but there's 3 of them. And so you have the sattva. The sattva guna is the sense of I am, right? And so individuality itself is pure misery, right? And so you cannot stand that alone. And so that's where the raja guna comes in next and takes the sense of I am on an adventure, right? I'm going to think these thoughts, feel these feelings, go, do certain things. I mean, like right now, this individuality wanting to create a salad mentally, now physically is creating a salad, and it's the cause of this, and it's my world, right? And so then you have the final guna, which is the tama guna, and it gives this sense of I am the the ability to feel like it is the doer. I am the doer. I am the creator of the salad. Of course I'm creating the salad. I'm watching myself creating the salad. I thought up the idea to create a salad, right? But that's the exact issue, is I'm coming at it with an identification with the body and the mind, because my mind thought the thoughts. And so I identified with the mind. I inquired into it. I was captivated by it. I identified with it. And so then my body creates the salad. I'm captivated by my body, all the sensations I'm feeling, all that's happening. And I feel like I'm the one who created it because of the Tama Guna. The Raja Guna was that whole journey of thought to emotion to action. Thought to excitement of, I'm going to have a salad, and then the action of actually creating it. And the Sattva Guna is the foundation for it being possible to happen. This feeling, this knowing of I amness, this feeling of I amness. And so the goal here is to settle into that. The goal of meditation is to hold yourself in that. That is the purpose of meditation. Right? And that is the purpose, that is what needs to be known before any spiritual practice is taken, before any prayer occurs, before any type of meditation is to be taken on. You need to have that background understanding. Otherwise, you're just breathing. Otherwise, you're just sitting in a position, holding your hands in certain ways, identifying with the ego, identifying with the mind, identifying with the body. That's not the goal. The goal is to hold yourself in that witness, in that background awareness that always is. As I said in the example, when the quarrel occurs, you need to understand that quarrel is only happening in the mind. And you need to understand that you are only witnessing the mind. You need to understand that you are only witnessing the sense of I amness. You need to understand that I amness, as it goes through a journey and feels like it is the doer of it, is only being witnessed. All of that is just being witnessed, effortlessly witnessed. There is no energy needed for you to witness at all. And so as you understand that and you stop being so captivated by the world, stop being so captivated by all the things, all the sense of doership, even the sense of yourself, and just hold yourself in the witness, hold yourself in the beingness, and just stay there. Gradually, you will attain that enlightenment. And so I just grated the whole carrot into this. The rest of my carrot. You just put as much carrot as you want. It can make a mess depending on how your grater is. And make sure that you stir the onions and garlic. Sorry to break that train of thought we had going there, but that is how you need to approach spirituality. And if you are curious about what I was teaching, I have the link for the video below that I listen to as much as I can. And the book of the teachings is called The Ultimate Medicine by Nisargadatta Maharaj. And if you want to look at his life, it's incredible. But that needs to be understood before anything. That needs to be understood going into the mucus diet healing system. That needs to be understood before you go into work. That needs to be understood going into your relationship. That needs to be understood, interacting with anyone, buying groceries, acting on your dreams. I'm not saying don't act on your dreams. I'm not saying don't have a good life. I'm not saying don't grow yourself. I'm not saying don't take care of your body. Sorry, it cut off. What I'm saying is you need to understand that you are simply the forever witness. You need to understand that no matter what, this whole universe can be destroyed and boom, but what you are will still be, because the nature of life is for things to change, for things to come and go, meaning that it's not forever. It's not permanent. It's not the truth. Truth doesn't change. Truth always, always is. And so what is true is what I've told you. That example, it shows you it clearly. It brings you back to it very clearly. There's a quarrel, right? Quarrel between me and you. You and me are fighting. But if you observe and understand clearly that it's just the mind quarreling, that's it. It's the mind quarreling, and thus this play has its perspective, which you're seeing it through, and that perspective being the mind. You understand that there is a witness to the mind, the witness that is seeing things through the perspective, which then, projects its perception onto the play, which is completely subjective, completely an opinion, if you will, because the other person has a completely different opinion on how things are going. Both, though, is an awareness that's going through. And so I'm gonna stray from everything being one. I'm not gonna do that in that example. But going back to it, boom, I'm witnessing the mind quarreling. If I choose to participate in it, then I am the one that is angry. But if I observe and understand that the quarrel is only within the mind, I'll realize that I'm just witnessing the mind quarreling. But what if I put my attention back onto what is witnessing it? And what if I just hold myself there? I won't let any thought take me. I won't inquire into any thought. I won't be captivated by any thought. And I'll just hold my attention there. I'll go throughout my day. I'll go do my job. I'll get the money that I need. I'll still do life. But if I hold my attention there, into that, what then? And that's the journey that I'm on. That's the journey. I'm not there yet. I don't fully get it. I'm still doing work. But I needed to say that. I wanted to say that so bad because it's too important. It's too important. It's salvation. It's self-realization. It's you taking the steps necessary to realize what you actually are, which is that genderless, shapeless awareness, that always present presence, always, no matter what. I'm going to end it there, but turn off the heat, take that onion garlic saute and pour it on to your salad. And that is the ultimate salad base. This alone is delicious. You could add salt and pepper if you still use seasonings, but if you're someone who is trying to abstain from that, this alone is delicious. It leaves behind no waste. These foods do not degrade into a slimy, sticky, viscous mucus, which will eventually make you sick and kill you. It helps aid the elimination of such matter. And you can decorate this salad however you want. I personally like to add little cherry tomatoes, and I also like to add olives if I need something a little bit heavier. But with that, I am going to go. I am grateful that I was able to do that, and I love you. Peace.